As the NBA and NFL contracts get more and more lucrative, more and more parents are getting overzealous, pushing their children into sports, at least as much for their own vain desires as well for the sake of the child. Now, we'll talk about that with the parent of two young basketball players. And speaking of b-ball, well, one of the worst teams in the NBA, our Brooklyn Nets, just fired their head coach and demoted general manager Billy King. While the Nets are struggling off the court, are they also doing enough in the communities throughout Brooklyn? As well as we'll also touch on the NCAA, which is making a boatload of money, but is it sharing the wealth? Well, here to get into those thorny issues are our friends, also my friend, Eric Hicks of Game Over NYC. Welcome, Eric.
Hey, man, good to be back. Good to be back.
Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, sir.
And also coach of Game Over, Mike Anderson. Welcome, Mike. This is your first time, right?
Yes, it is. Thank you
So you ready to rock and roll?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Twana Denard, whose two boys are also hoop enthusiasts.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
All right. First, I want to get the Nets out the way. Man, I mean, they are closer in proximity to the Knicks physically. But when it comes to basketball, man, they are close to Philadelphia.
It's even worse than that because Philadelphia, the way that they have aligned themselves with talent, basically shipping off all of the big contracts and just getting draft choices, they've got a lot of talent in Philadelphia. Right now, the Nets, man, when we were here the last time, I said I didn't understand what the Nets were going to do because they really didn't have a plan. And that's what's come to fruition. There's no plan, and they fired Lionel Hollins, who's an excellent coach, by the way.
Correct.
But I think Prokhorov did the right thing by letting them go because at this point, you have to do something.
It's just a black hole.
Well, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money tied up in the Nets and a lot of money tied up in the Barclays Center and promotions and the whole thing.
And the thing is, speaking of the Barclays Center, has it lost its luster? Is the relationship over?
Well, I'm going to say.
I mean, it's just like a 7-year marriage, right? After 7 years, you got to really struggle to.
Well, I don't know what my two friends here think. You could ask them, but I just think that the Nets, Brooklyn and New York likes a winner. And if you come to a city like this and you start off losing, then your fan base is going to dwindle.
Damn.
Yes.
What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think the Nets pretty much, the fan base is almost dead. It's almost gone because they're not winning. The superstars that they had in Joe Johnson, he's not doing what he's paid millions to do, but it took the coach to get fired, and then he comes out and he's scoring 16 points a game, 20 points a game. After just 2 games, he's already in double digits when he was averaging 9 points a game.
Yeah, I just think that the shine is dull, and it's time for something new. They need somebody to come in there and give them some new energy and some new power to attract the people back.
Yeah.
Is Tony Brown the answer?
No, Tony Brown's an intern, lame duck coach that, he's not a sexy enough selection. He was the assistant coach to Lionel Hollins. So they moved him in now. It's like, it's a Band-Aid. It's like, the deck of the Titanic and you're ordering towels because you got a little spill. You have to really, really look for a good coach. They're talking about
John Calipari.
John Calipari. But
that'll be a second comeback.
But you know what? Every time a New York coach is fired and he leaves, they bring up Calipari's name. He wants $125 million to take that job. With all of the money they have tied up now in the Nets, I don't know if Prokhorov is going to go that way.
I think it'll be worth it, though.
So will the players.
Yeah.
But is he really proven? Is he really proven as a coach? Is he really proven that he can do it in the NBA?
That's
He's
true.
proven as a college coach when you can go out there and get the players that you want.
Because in the NBA, you have to be a leader of men, right?
Well,
And
a leader of men, and then there's salary cap issues and a lot of contract issues and things like that. So you can't just select everybody that you want.
Right. When it comes to community outreach, you look at the Knicks, you look at the NBA, you look at the also here in Brooklyn, the Nets and the Islanders. Are they doing enough in the community? I mean, I know in terms of clinics and basketball camps, I see T-shirts. They might sponsor a league here and there. But is that enough, or are we expecting too much?
I feel that they're not doing enough. I think that it's more than just saying you're going to put a name on a T-shirt. It's building a community, building community centers, building relationships with people in the community, and letting them know that we're here, we have your back. And I don't see enough of that.
Does that also affect the fan base?
Well, yeah, I think it does. You see, as in the position that I'm in with Game Over, the president of Game Over, we look for sponsorship, we look for help, we look for opportunities to bring in the pro teams. But you can't go begging them. You know, I mean, I'll give my props to the Nets. They did step up and help us with our summer camp this past summer, but there really hasn't been a lot. I'm hoping to do more things in the future. The Knicks are in a position now when they're hot, so they don't really need you. But they, you know, each team has a department called community community relations, community affairs, and they're there and they do some
and
things.
And they're usually former players.
They're usually former players, but you know what the real thing is like you're never going to make everybody happy. But I think as a company, what we did is we shifted who we go to for help. I'd much rather go to the colleges and more push kids to go to college than to put this NBA dream in front of them that 99.9% of the time is not going to happen.
As a parent, what do you see as far as, especially with your young boys? And you have a youngster right now in college. He's a freshman at Duquesne.
Yes.
Right? But what is their take on the Nets?
Well,
and your take?
My youngest is a diehard Nets fan, and what I would like for kids like him to be able to experience with the Nets, like these players that they root for on television, I would like the players to go out to the schools, visit the kids, like reach out to the kids because they're idolizing.
Yeah, but that's not my contract. Go out to the school.
No, but if you want to increase your fan base, you have. The kids love the team. So me as a parent, if my son is a diehard fan of yours, I'm going to take you to see your favorite player. If your favorite player doesn't care about you, or if the organization doesn't care to visit the school or do some type of contest with all of the things we have in social media, you have Twitter, you could do contests where these kids will really engage with the organization, even if it's not the players. You can surprise the kids with a player. You have Shane Larkin, who was on the Knicks, who's now on the Nets. You got Joe Johnson. You have Brooke Lopez. You have all these guys out here that can actually make a kid's day for one visit.
Adopt a player, adopt a team.
Yeah, and just come there, and then the kids will come. Have it to where schools come. All these schools out here in Brooklyn, give them a day where they can come and watch the teams play an actual game.
When we were talking off camera, you said something that stuck with me. Don't worry.
It was off camera now.
Off the record.
The Nets should have kept maybe New York Nets instead of Brooklyn Nets because too many people identify with Brooklyn instead of it being New York, right? Is that?
That's a very controversial position that I take, but I think that it should have been the New York Nets versus the Brooklyn Nets. And the only reason why I say that is because when you're trying to energize an entire fan base of this metropolitan area, which includes the Bronx and Manhattan and Harlem and Staten Island and places like that, I don't know a lot of kids in the Bronx that want to wear Brooklyn across their chest. And you know, so why, I don't want to use the word alienate, but why separate like that? And I know the pull of Brooklyn and the allure of Brooklyn is worldwide. I get it.
Right, the brand.
But right now, you go into the arena at a Nets game and there's 30 people in there. So, you know, maybe it was a mistake.
And maybe they should have also gotten in bed with some of these nonprofit organizations, right? Especially folks like yourself, other organizations, maybe in Brownsville, and they can give away tickets and maybe.
Well, yeah, they do, but you have to understand that the Barclays Center and the Nets, it's a business. Right. So you want to have a product that people are willing to reach into their pocket and spend for.
All right. Overzealous parents, man, you have these parents out here who are just psycho dads, psycho moms who are willing to push their kid to play basketball, football, because they see that pile of money, man, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You know, and I want my son or my daughter, you know, to be in the NBA, WNBA. What's wrong with that?
Personally, I think it's a society issue or a societal issue in that we elevate the athlete to this stature. And in our community, it's almost like the only way to be successful is be successful on the court or on stage. And there has to be a shift in that. Now, I do believe that athletes and entertainers, they're beloved all over the world.
Correct.
So if you can get into that avenue and take advantage of it, but realize that you have to use it and don't let it use you. What we have is too many kids and too many parents with ridiculous, over-the-top hoop dreams, and you should see some of the parents and their behavior and what they do and the AAU thing. Disgusting.
It can get bad.
You have 2 boys.
I have 2 boys.
All right.
Both play basketball.
All right. Were you this type of parent before?
I'm not this. I'm not. I may have been a little overzealous in the past. During the playoffs, you can't help but be that parent that's screaming. But and with my son, he's 18. He has hoop dreams, and he went to Duquesne. He was hoping to walk on. But with all of the hype from these players are being recruited from this camp, and they went to this 5-star camp, and all of these things, and these kids have this big hype, and here my son is over here trying to work hard to make the team. He has the grades. he can't make the team because there's no hype. So when I'm at the games as an overzealous parent, I'm looking at him like, you was doing all of this at these games, go, go, go. It's like now, it was all.
Is it expensive also, especially being an overzealous parent, because the money you have to put into these camps, you're going to center camp, you're going to jump shot camp, you're going to sprint camp, you're going to all these different camps.
Yeah, daddy and son camps and all that other
It's just a
stuff.
point where the parents have to realize that the kids can do some other things in life. They need a balance. And I see a lot of parents, their kids don't have a balance. You know, to me, I feel that they should play more than one sport. You know, it makes them aware of other things in life that's available to them. And, you know.
I'll take that even further, a step further. More than one sport, a musical instrument, interest in science, interest. When we do it at the Sty Dome.
But the schools are not teaching music and, you know.
Well, as a parent, you can get a child piano lessons. Let me tell you something. What I see a lot is we have little basketball machines that we're trying to develop, and they're not well-rounded. And I think that we have to take an approach where we are developing well-rounded kids, because at the end of the day, your son is not going to Duke. I hate to break it to you, but your son is not going to Duke.
Well, we tell a kid he can be anything he wants, so we're being hypocrites.
I think it's a wonderful thing, because you always want to tell a kid to shoot for the stars. And those principles that you use to strive to hit the top, you can use in other aspects of life.
All right. Well, you
Always
know,
have a plan B,
all right,
though.
we got to go. So, got to wrap it up, man. We got to go. What you got there? Oh, you got to show. Oh, come on. Oh.
It's cold outside,
Oh,
but it's,
all right.
actually, this is a gift for you. This is a
Thank you,
exclusive
Mr.
Game Over
Hicks.
sweatshirt.
Oh, Mr. Hicks, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It is nice.
Late Christmas, right?
Absolutely,
All right,
man.
thank you.
Thank you.
I'll have you back again for maybe some socks.